bad. Let's get straight into the trade recap, boy. No funny minute. Coming into the day, leaning bearish just because of how strong we were trading higher, and the higher time frame is very bearish. And if we can look from 8 p.m. all the way to freaking 8 a.m., we were just getting bought up. And I was like, dang, cool. Higher time frame, weekly, daily, 4 hours, very bearish, as we all know. So coming into the day was definitely leaning bearish. So yeah, let's dive straight into it. So what do we see here? At the open, 9:30 a.m., we see price come up a little bit. I was potentially looking for something at some sort of internal buy-side liquidity level. That didn't end up happening. What I marked out, though, was the 50% mark of this gigantic wick on the 7:30 a.m. 7:25, 7:26 a.m. 1 minute candle. So I was like, okay, cool. And after I saw it respecting, I'm like, okay, cool. I don't really need SMT there. So let's see if something happens. And then what ends up happening, we end up selling off for 26 minutes straight. So I'm like, well, there's nothing there because price sold off without me, but no big deal. Just gonna let it do its thing. Then what do we see? We see NQ comes down, sweeps out a external pool of sell side liquidity right here. Just some 15-minute low, ES failing to do so, putting in a bullish SMT. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I'm gonna denote that bullish SMT here and here. This is a low that failed to get taken. So boom, we come down, put in that bullish SMT. I'm still leaning bearish, but what do I want to see? I want to see some significant internal buy-side liquidity levels swept. So I had an eye on this and an eye on these up here. So what ends up happening, we chop around for quite a while. At around 10:15, we come up and sweep some internal buy-side liquidity. Didn't put in any SMT, so I was a little hesitant, and I was just being patient. About right here at this 10:17 candle, I was like, okay, bro, we're probably just waiting for 10:30 news, because Powell was speaking at 10:30, so I'm like, okay, I'll just be patient, wait until then. So boom, just trading, chopping around. What do I see here? 10:25 candle, we come up on ES, sweep out this very small internal 1 minute high, respecting the small 1 minute bearish fair value gap. I wasn't really interested in that though. I was just interested in the SMT. And then what do we see on NQ? Boom, that SMT gets put in respected. We see a pretty big displacement move down, changing the state's market structure just below all this choppy price action here. So I'm like, okay, great. At first, I didn't want to get involved, obviously, which I feel like this was a great decision from me, even though either way it would have worked out. But 10:30 we had Powell. I didn't want to leave a limit there because I'm like, okay, dude, it's very likely that it just rips and pumps up, so let me just protect myself, be patient. So boom, once I see that this gets filled and respected, I'm like, okay, let me get involved now. So after this close, I put my limit in on this candle here. Boom, we got filled. I wanted to have my stop with a higher protected SMT high, just because a 15.75 point stop for me is literally, that's probably the smallest stop I've ever had. So I wanted to give myself a little more room to breathe on it, so I placed it above this high. I had my risk-free point right here, just this intermediate term wick low. I think I went break even pretty early, like right here, because I'm like, okay, bro, I just want to see us flush down lower. So let's protect myself, go stop to break even so I can't lose. And yeah, we hit our risk-free point right here. Boom, very strong candle close. And then like 5 seconds later, boom, we hit full PT for that 1 to 2.5. Initially, it was kind of targeting this new week opening gap, but with the risk being as good as it was, able to be a 2.5 RR, I was incredibly happy taking low-hanging fruit. And as we can see, it was the right call, because even though we did trade a good bit lower, we ended up reversing, boom, stop at break even, trading lower one more time, and then boom, ripping higher. So yeah, there's that. I feel like this trade was executed very well, but obviously there's stuff to learn and things we could have done better. Looking back, the biggest and main thing I see to maximize RR, but I'll go one at a time because that's kind of unfair. Instead of having our stop up here, boom, stop here. And that moves. Actually, let me start over. Instead of taking 5 cons, which this was fine because it was in my risk allowance, I'm allowed to risk 250 per trade, but now, since I have more balance, I'll show you all that in a little bit, I'm going to increase mask risk to 275, and that would have allowed for an extra con to be taken, because risk would have been 264, boom, would have made an extra 220. So woulda, shoulda, coulda, and that's not even something I could have done because that wouldn't have been in line with my rules. But from now on, good to know. And it's oftentimes there's not even an opportunity to do this. This only happened because the stop was so tight. But there's that. And then looking back, another thing that could have been done was potentially taking the trade with a tighter stop at this protected SMT high. That would have allowed for a whole, like, one more risk to reward instead of a 2.5. That would have been a 3.5. And let's see what the risk parameters would have been on that. 7, 8. Realistically, I would have taken 8 because even though it's 2 over, and then boom, would have made 8, 8, 8 on the day, brother. But woulda, shoulda, coulda, and that's not even with the extra contract. Wouldn't have been able to do that anyway, though. So that would have been best case scenario. Taking it with a tighter stop, tighter risk, making it twice as much, literally. But it is what it is, man. That's fine. We're gonna be happy with what we got. Great trade. Took the low-hanging fruit. Took what I was confident in. Protected myself accordingly, and yeah, got rewarded for it, brother. But that's all I got for today. I'll show you all the balance real quick. Just don't want to make this video 17 hours long. We could see right here on the Lucids, 472. They made a little more because I didn't have a limit for the profit. What the? Because I didn't have a limit for the profit target because the freaking chart was goofing up and wouldn't let me zoom out. So yeah, I made 472 on those. And then 445 on these. And as we can see, the balances are looking pretty nice. This is the highest balance one, but they're all around that 53,000 mark. I guess I could just show you. 53.4 basically, 53.1, 53.1, 52.9, 53.1, 53.5, or 53.3. So yeah, just slowly chipping away, brother. Being patient, taking good trades, and just learning from it. Gonna journal that what could have been done better, what was done well, and how we can improve moving forward. But that is all I got for today. Thanks for watching. Let me know how y'all did today in the comments below. Let me know if you have any questions or anything. If y'all are interested in getting a funded account, I'd recommend Alpha Futures. They're running a pretty decent sale right now with code Owen in the description. Trade Copier is Trade Syncer if you want to trade up to like 20,000 accounts at a time. I'm not using it right now personally, but if you want to check it out, use my code. I think you get a pretty good discount for your first month, not gonna lie. So give that a try. And yeah, if y'all have any questions whatsoever, feel free to ask them. If you have any tips or anything, let me know, brother. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Great way to start the week. We'll see what happens tomorrow, and I will catch you then. Peace.